Continuing our series on how to start an airline, let's investigate what additional services you'll require to keep your fleet in the air. Today we take a closer look at the array of support services that your airline will require to launch and maintain reliable and safe operations. At the most basic level, the handling of commercial aircraft at airports is generally classified under two descriptive headings: above the wing and below the wing services. From these two general categories are numerous subgroups. Above the wing handling services includes all aspects of passenger handling, plus other activities that generally occur within the terminal building or directly relate to passengers. Below the wing handling activities are far more likely to occur around your aircraft while it sits on the ground, parked either at a gate or elsewhere on the apron. Handling is the general term given to all the various services that will contribute to the turnaround process, taking an arriving aircraft and transforming it into a clean, fueled and possibly catered airliner for its next passenger service. Passenger handling is generally completed for departing passengers once they are safely handed over to the crew once they board the aircraft before departure. Likewise, once arriving passengers disembark the plane, they become under the responsibility of the ground staff inside the terminal building. As already mentioned, above-the-wing handling relates to everything involving the handling of passengers. This can be either within the airport terminal or on board the aircraft itself. The main areas of this type of handling include, but are not limited to, the following activities: check-in services, baggage services and inquiries, in-flight catering, aircraft cabin cleaning, special assistance, wheelchair and ambulift provision, and customer services and airport ticket desks. As many of these activities bring your airline directly into contact with the customer, so having reliable services will ensure positive customer experiences and reviews. Below-the-wing handling tends to occur on the ramp once an aircraft arrives at its stand and prepares for its next service. This term encompasses a vast range of activities which generally take place airside, where skilled workers with enhanced security clearance operate in highly dynamic and often potentially dangerous conditions. Some of the main below-the-wing services that most viewers will recognize include fuel provision and refueling, general ground handling, pushback tugs, wing walkers, marshalling services, operation of air bridges, de-icing services, cargo handling and loading, baggage handling plus preparing load sheets and weight and balance documentation, toilet waste servicing plus potable water supplies, aircraft towing, and aircraft exterior cleaning services. Airlines tend to contract for handling services in one of three ways. These are through third-party handling services provided by a specialist company, self-handling, where an airline provides its own services, or handling services provided by another airline that offers services to other operators at select airports. It'll be up to you as to which model of handling you opt for at each airport your airline flies to. Note that airlines select different handling models for different airports they serve and don't really follow a one-size-fits-all approach. In most cases, airlines don't carry out their own handling functions. Many view these tasks as a distraction and subcontract them to others who specialize in this field. Since setting up an in-house handling operation is so expensive, it may prove far more cost-effective to contract out part or all of your handling to a third party. Most airports have one or more independent companies that exist solely to service the needs of airlines that do not wish to self-handle. The airports you fly to may be one of your bases, but may also be on another continent, many thousands of miles and several flight hours from home. Unless you've reached a critical mass whereby your airline can be set up and then operate profitably, as well as bear the total costs of owning your own handling operations, then contracting third-party suppliers and procuring their services is likely to be a more practical, cost-effective solution for you. Such companies make their money by serving a range of different airline flights across the day or during the operating hours of the airport, So you may be able to strike a better deal if your flights happen to arrive during off-peak times when the handling company is likely to have assets and staff available. The contract with the handling company may be for a fixed term or on a rolling basis and stipulate what services are to be supplied. It should also lay down service quality guarantees and also on-time performance metrics. These will protect your airline's operation so that should the handling company continually underperform and delay your flights, you'll have grounds for a claim against the handling company under the terms of the agreement. Self-handling is a more common approach at home base airports where the passenger traffic volumes can justify the investment in staff recruitment, training and the equipment required. This involves employing your own staff to provide some or all of the services we just listed, either employed directly by your airline or a subsidiary company. Ryanair, for example, self-handles its flights at London Stansted Airport through its subsidiary Blue Handling Limited, co-owned with another company, Omniserve. With the self-handling model, your airline will recruit and train its staff to serve your passengers and provide other ground services. Your handling operation may well obtain its own ground equipment such as baggage belt loaders, sets of aircraft steps, de-icing trucks and pushback vehicles, to name but a few. Your handling operation will handle all of your own flights. Still, you may also contract its services to other carriers should it have spare capacity, for example, once all of your aircraft have departed on outbound services. Doing so will attract an additional income stream to offset the investment costs involved in setting up your self-handling operation and can keep staff fully employed while waiting for your own aircraft to return. Often, larger airlines, particularly at hub airports where they already provide handling services for their own operation, will offer such services to other airlines at the airport. For example, British Airways have provided handling for other oneworld airlines at London Heathrow Airport, its own home base, for many years. One aspect that might prove to be a particular attraction of this model for your airline is that you are likely to be contracting with a carrier with vast experience handling operations at that specific airport. There is a potential downside, however. In cases where several flights are due to depart simultaneously, and yours happens to be the only one not operated by the airline providing your ground handling, you might find your flight has to wait until a pushback tug becomes available once all of the other airlines' flights have left their gates. Unusual although this scenario may seem, it can and does happen. A well-functioning passenger and aircraft handling function is essential for your airline's operation. Without a reliable process to get passengers on and off your aircraft and get it turned around swiftly and on time, you may as well give up without trying. Ultimately, a passenger's post-flight perception of your airline will undoubtedly include their journey through the terminal and the time spent on board your aircraft. As we've seen, getting an aircraft unloaded, cleaned, catered and reloaded takes great coordination, with various elements working together in unison to get that aircraft away on time. The whole process is fragile regardless of how often it is performed each day. It only takes one kink in the chain to unravel the entire process, leading to missed slots, delayed flights and disgruntled passengers. When selecting your handling services provider, look for a proven track record and make sure that your airline is protected if the service level agreed to at the contract stage is not adhered to or falls short once the contract is underway. As with handling, you can opt for various engineering and maintenance support models for your new airline operation. You may decide to invest in a full in-house engineering department that can provide anything from heavy maintenance in your own hangars to contracting out your maintenance support to a third party. In the same way as handling services, specialized maintenance companies and other airlines can offer such engineering services, which are attractive options for any new airline starting out. You may decide to employ your own licensed engineers for routine or line maintenance, where your own engineers tend to your aircraft when on the ground at your bases, resolving any minor engineering snags to ensure that your aircraft remains serviceable. When deciding upon maintenance services provision, you must decide how much you're willing to invest in your own in-house operation versus how much it would be to outsource some or the entire operation to another organization. When it comes to in-flight services, these are often imagined as simply relating to the catering aspect of air travel. Yet it can consist of more than just the food and beverage service on board passenger flights. Other services, such as selling tax-free goods and other consumables, have become part of modern air travel. Some airlines sell lottery tickets on board, while others offer the chance to purchase train tickets for onward travel from the airport after arrival. Although such offerings can add significant incremental revenue to the airline's bottom line, there is a cost to offering such frills, and behind the supply chain of such goods and services is a contract between the airline and the supplier. In-flight catering has evolved enormously over the decades. It was not that long ago that being able to purchase food and drinks on board routinely was an unheard-of concept. Nowadays, it has become commonplace across large swaths of the industry. Conversely, the major carriers have been forced to up their game regarding in-flight food and beverage service as the competition for the travel dollars of high-end premium passengers has increased. While the average passenger appreciates the service of food and drinks on board, it is a highly costly business for airlines. For example, removing single after-dinner chocolate from the business class cabins of a short-haul medium-sized European operator saved the airline almost $1 million annually. Also, for the long-haul carriers offering complete meal services in all 3 or 4 classes on board, the costs of additional fuel required to carry large amounts of crockery, cutlery, and glass around the sky cannot be underestimated. It's also a highly complex logistical task to fulfill service offerings on every flight your airline operates. Depending on the type of model you choose for your airline, and indeed the level of in-flight service you intend to offer to your passengers, you'll need to conduct a rigorous tender process, find the supplier that's right for your airline, and will work with you to achieve the objectives. At certain airports, you'll have greater choice than at others, so the art of negotiating a good deal will be crucial. As with the example of the after-dinner chocolate, even the slightest change to an in-flight meal can hugely impact your bottom line. In the modern age where everything relies on IT, you'll need to invest in systems and technology to support your operation. Every element of today's airline operation runs on technology, so this will be essential. Although the list of technology you will need to procure for your airline is far too extensive to reproduce in full here, let's look at some things to consider. Reservation systems, customer and frequent flyer databases, check-in and baggage tracking systems, electronic maintenance logs, access to global distribution systems to sell your flights, flight monitoring, flight planning and flight tracking software, and much, much more. While all of this used to be based on physical paper and logbooks, starting your airline in 2022 will most certainly need a whole suite of software, which may or may not need to be customized to your operations. Having adequate tech support and cybersecurity experts on hand to protect your systems will also be critical. As part of your planning process, you will also require your procurement team to look at securing the following items and services: slots acquisition, air traffic services, advertising and marketing, public relations, and sales support and promotion. With so many things to arrange, you may want to consider hiring an experienced purchasing professional early on to give your airline the best opportunity to negotiate good commercial deals to obtain all supporting services required. Running an airline is a collaborative business, and your operation will rely on many external suppliers to make it work. Develop close working relationships with your key suppliers and foster partnerships that will ultimately result in efficient turnarounds, on-time departures, and happy customers. How will you arrange services for your airline? Will everything be in-house or outsourced? Let us know by leaving a comment. Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles every week. If you're looking for the latest aviation news and insights, visit simpleflying.com.